Today's the day. Hi friends, it's Auntie Cuckoo. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be diving into the mystery box challenge, unboxing, seeing what I got sent, and then trying to figure out what I'm going to make with it all. This was all started by Courtney, who is creative on the cheap. If you don't know her, you have to go check out her channel. I received my box from Kelly Barlow Creations. She actually is one of the first channels I even started watching on YouTube before I even started making videos. So I'm super excited. So I actually sent my box to Jennifer, who is a little bit of calm and crazy. I just love her. She's just sweet and down to earth and creative. And she's been DIYing and making crafts for years on her channel. So be sure you head over to see what I sent her. So this is actually my third mystery box challenge that I am participating in. And last time around we had a coconut bra and a diaper as our challenge items. This time around, our mystery box theme is that you need to shop from your stash. So anything from your personal crafting stash is what you put into the box for whoever you're sending it to. You send 5 to 8 items, and that includes 2 items, which are your challenge items. You wrap those up so that they know they are the challenge items, and that means they have to use those. And there's always a twist. This time the twist is that on one of our projects, we can't use any glue, like any glue. Courtney was very clear. She gave very descriptive instructions. Can't even get around it a little bit. So wish me luck. Now let's get into my box. So first off, she sent me a little card that says Val. Okay, either Kelly printed this out or she has the most amazing writing ever. Val, I hope that the contents of this mystery box brings you some fun inspiration. I look forward to seeing what you create. Happy crafting, my DIY friend. Hugs, Kelly. Check out this writing. Kelly, is that your writing? You put me to shame, girl. All right, let's get into the box. She's got, oh my goodness, I have to show you guys because it's just so cutely done. Of course it is. It's Kelly, Stinking Cute Creations. Everything's just lined up and so cute. Thank you. Okay. Challenge item number 1. You didn't think we were going to open that first, right? Definitely not. Okay, fun. This is a terrarium planter from the Dollar Tree. I've been wanting to craft with one of these, so this will be interesting. Next up are some of the fun pumpkins. So these have a really fun texture to them. They're sort of like brushed over with a little bit of white paint, and I just love it. It almost makes them look like they're coated in sugar from afar. This is something I've never crafted with. This is the neutral color, which I appreciate very much. This is the mesh tubing. So, Another thing to mention is that those pumpkins have clips on the back of them that make them very easy to craft with. I also got some burlap leaves. My wheels are spinning already. And then we've got challenge item number 2. So I'll set that over here. Oh my goodness. You were so kind, Kelly. Look at how cute these ribbons are. Love those. Thank you so much. This is cute. Okay, what does it say? Gratitude. I think that's perfect, especially for fall. Little galvanized round sign. This is funny. You definitely have to go watch all the videos, you guys. Trust me. Love this. So it's a sign. I love it. That's all I'm going to say. But you better go watch all the other videos because this is kind of funny. So it says, our family gathers here. Love that. And a wooden pumpkin. 2 wooden pumpkins. Things just got, shall we say, interesting. 2 of the same. I love that. I love that. That just gives you so many more options. She also sent me some fabric. This, I believe, is part of their fall line that they're putting out. This is cute. It has little mushrooms on it, little sayings, some sunflowers and pumpkins. That is really cute. And there's a lot of colors to work with. So there's like some reds, greens, yellows. Perfect. All right, so now let's get into those challenge items. Let's start off with challenge item number 2. Now, first off, I'm just going to remark on the very small. So that's interesting. This one's very light, which is challenge item number 2. And the other one is quite heavy. Oh, you were so nice, Kelly. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Definitely something I can work with. It is a bale of straw. So it's one of their little straw bales from the Dollar Tree. Fun. All right, challenge item number 2. Now this one's heavy. It feels like a bar of soap. Is it a bar of soap? So we can have some good, clean fun. Okay, it's not bad, guys. It's not scary by any means. Okay. Salt and pepper shakers. All right, so those are my items. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So first up, we are using those pumpkins. I wanted to get a jump start on this project. It's definitely something I'm in love with. You're going to remove the tags and of course the raffia. Hey, Dollar Tree, stop putting raffia on your wood items. Not everybody wants that. Then I used the back of one of my tags to use some hot glue as my hole filler. I don't have any wood filler on hand right now. Mine kind of dried up. So then I'm taking some black craft paint and I am painting both pumpkins on both sides, paying extra attention to the edges. And then I got a little wood box I have on hand from the Dollar Tree, giving it a good coat of black paint as well. I also took these outside and gave them a little distressing with some sandpaper. Now I'm using some of those wood beads I picked up at my Dollar Tree. I sorted them into sizes. They come in a multi-pack. So I like to use those long wooden skewers you can find in the kitchen section of the Dollar Tree to aid in gluing them down in a row. I like to use toothpicks when I'm working with beads as well, and it just kind of helps me. I've got kind of big, clumsy hands, and I really think it helps when you're trying to put them in a straight row. It also kind of keeps the holes connected to each other, so that way you're not showing any holes if you're making it look like a solid bead. So after I beaded both of the insides of my pumpkin, I went ahead and grabbed a few extra beads, a little bit of twine, and a skewer to make a little embellishment or tassel, something we're going to put around the neck of the pumpkin. So I essentially wanted a little bit of twine I could tie with 3 beads, give or take, on each side. I just knotted each end of the twine so that it would hold the beads on, and then trimmed off any extra twine so that it didn't sort of peek through the beads, and then just put 3 on each side, and now I've got a fun little tassel. I'm tying it really loosely around the neck of the pumpkin. Now I did take some hot glue and the tray that we painted and sort of sized up. The best way to glue it is to put glue on the side and then sort of align them while standing so that you get the height right, if that makes sense. Then I took the other pumpkin and I adhered it to the front. Now I think this would be a great gift for anyone. It is fall. You could pop in a cute little plant you pick up at the grocery store. You could fill it with treats, and with Thanksgiving around the corner, I think this would be a great centerpiece or hostess gift if you are going to someone's home. I plan to fill it and give it to our new neighbors as a welcome to the neighborhood gift. Now on to the next. A treat jar. This is going to be so much fun. I think this is my family's favorite, and you don't need this treat jar. You can pick up any kind of treat jar. I found this one at the Dollar Tree. Now, if it does have a little knob, you're going to want to take that off, and we're going to use it in one of our other DIYs today. Now, another part of the challenge was given to us by the Bargain Bethany, and that was to use a paper bag. And so I pulled out a Trader Joe's bag for this project. What you're going to want to do is glue it to the edge of of your treat container lid. It is very important, whatever you use for this project, that it have a lid. So once you have glued the bag in sort of a cone fashion, then you're just going to shape it. And I think you know where we're going with this. We pulled out the fabric that I was sent, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it down to size. What we're doing is creating the hat of a gnome. So I just hot glued a little edge so it has a nice hemmed look around the edge of the cap where it will meet the container, whatever container you happen to use, whether it's a canister or a jar. Any kind of container will do, as long as it has that lid for this specific project. Now go ahead and use some hot glue and adhere your fabric around the whole edge of the lid that is covered in the paper bag, which is giving it all of the shape that we're going to want. Now I did go ahead and fold in a flap of the fabric and then sort of glued it down in sort of a cone shape, and then trimmed off the excess fabric so that we are not tucking and pulling a whole bunch of extra fabric into the hat. And then I just folded over the edge just a little bit at a time using hot glue to adhere it so it looks like a nice sewn seam. And then once you've got that done, it's time to shape our hat back into that fun little curved over edge, like a Hershey's Kiss kind of folded over. Now for the end of the cap, I'm going to actually use a little bit of the yarn I have on hand that you will see very soon. I'm just going to go ahead and tie a knot just to sort of end the cap, and then I'm going to take some scissors, cut off the excess, and then I'm going to fray it by giving it lots of little miniature cuts with my scissors at the edge. Fun fact, I used to have a whole business around ragging quilts and baby products, so I'm pretty good at the whole ragging thing. And then you're going to use some hot glue to go ahead and keep your hat dog-tailed. Now for the next part, yarn. This was something I did very late at night, so I wanted to show you what I used. It's just this really fun fluffy yarn from the Dollar Tree. I just did this over and over and over again, and I was going to use it like this to cover the whole treat jar, but I decided that it would look better if I had a fuller beard. So I went ahead and added an extra long portion of yarn to the middle and doubled it up, and I think it does look really good this way. So then I tied it in the back to secure it. Go ahead and give it a good little knot, and then you can trim off any excess yarn. I'm telling you guys, I was in love with this project, and I'm not a gnome person. Next, you're going to want to use one of the beads from the Dollar Tree, paint it a color that you think looks flesh-like, and then use a few strands from your beard to tie it, which is our little gnome nose, in place right in the center. Oh my goodness, you guys. Then I got out my Cricut. Now I know not everyone has a Cricut, and this is an extra step that I went with. I just came up with it. I thought it'd be really cute to put "There's no one like you" on the back. Now this is a great gift. You can give this to anyone for any reason. I'm going to keep it in my stash of gifts for things like birthdays and maybe some homecoming proposals. I do have teenagers, and I know that's around the corner. So you could fill it with your favorite treat. You could go with popcorn, something really simple. You could do kisses or just mixed candy. You could throw in a gift card. I am in love with this little guy, and so is my whole family. They're all hoping that they get it, but it's going in my gift stash for those last minute gifts. I love to have things like this that have a personal touch, that say, hey, I care, I love you, but I did not spend a whole lot of money. Here's a little something from me to you. So if you are enjoying the video so far, be sure to subscribe. I've got a lot of crafting up my sleeve for the holidays. Let's get right back to it. So for this next one, we are using the terrarium. Now it is an acrylic terrarium, and we are not going to make it look anything like one. Go ahead and give it a coat of white paint. Then we're using the mesh tubing I was sent. I'm starting off with a good dollop of hot glue in the center on the top, and then adding a little bit of the mesh tubing, winding it around and around and around and around. And this is going to be the lid of another gift that I've had on my mind to make for any occasion. So this is another item that is great for fall for sure, especially for the coffee lover in our life. Now I did pull out one of these glass containers I had on hand from the Dollar Tree, and it fits perfectly on top. So once you have fully glued down your mesh tubing, you're going to take out some white paint, and start painting. Very therapeutic. It takes a while to fill in all of those spaces. Next, you're going to need something. Now, I did a decoupage. I used some orange fabric I already had on hand, and I sort of fit it to the size of the glass. Now, you wouldn't have to go this route. You could use paper instead of fabric. You could paint the inside of your jar if you wanted. I decided to pull out my Mod Podge and give this a try, and truthfully, it was messy. It was probably the messiest of all the projects today, so I did have to kind of use my hand to smush in the fabric, and for some reason, even though I dry fit it, it was way too big because it was on the inside, and I don't know what happened. But anyways, take your scissors, feel free to trim away if you use the fabric, but put something on the inside to make it look like the color that you want it to. Now I have my little sphere and all the paint has dried, but there are some little cracks in there. So what we're going to do is use a little bit of that spackle. You can find it at the Dollar Tree. Just sort of smooth it over. Once that fully dried, I took some more white paint and gave it a quick once over because it was a different color. When the wet paint is not quite dry, take some cinnamon and sprinkle it along the top of your sphere. And then I'm using one of the pumpkins that I was sent on the very top. Now this is what my jar looks like. It's not perfect, but I think it looks pretty good. I did trim off any extra fabric around the top, and then I got out my Cricut and made a little thing that says, "You're the pumpkin to my spice." I think it is super duper cute. Now you can fill this with some wrapping shred, some tissue paper. You can fill it up with some treats. You could use it to give a gift card to maybe a coffee or a fall lover in your life. It is so adorable. I love that the top of it is a whipped cream, creamy, spicy coffee drink for fall. It smells good because of the cinnamon. It is really cute. If I had to do it over again, I'd probably paint the inside. And now that I'm thinking in hindsight, probably should have gone with brown because that's the color of pumpkin spice. But nevertheless, I think this is an adorable way to give a gift to anyone for any occasion. On to the next. This one is for the little people in your life, and this one turned out really cute. So I'm using the door that I was sent. I decided to go ahead and change up the color scheme, and you will need a sign. I'm using this one from the Dollar Tree. As you can tell, it is from Valentine's Day. We're going to put our door on it. First, I'm just removing the jute hanger from it, and then I'm going to use some black paint and just paint out the edge of this sign. And then we're going to go in to the center using some of the wallpaper that you can find at the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to sort of use my marker to give a good size indication. Take my scissors, go in and trim it all down to be the right size. Now I want this to look like something I would want in my home. Now, I have kids, they're grown, but we always had the tooth fairy in our house when they were little and losing teeth. And the way the tooth fairy worked in our house was you put something outside of your door, because our tooth fairy was really forgetful and she would always forget unless there was something in the hallway to remind her to drop in. So now we're going to take the black door that we've painted, we're going to take some hot glue, and we're going to go ahead and glue that onto the sign. Now I put mine up towards the top, and you could put yours towards the bottom. I'm taking that knob we took off our treat container, and we're going to use that as the door. Then I took off the center of the door that had the little saying, it was cardboard. I used some felt to trace out that size and shape. Now I recommend maybe using whoever is losing the teeth in your house, or whoever you're giving this to, whose favorite color of felt. I just used blue, and I covered the front, and then I used a little triangle to create a little pocket on this little cardboard piece, just cutting it where I needed to and using the hot glue, folding down the felt on the corners, trimming off the edges until I had this really cute little felt pocket. Now, I think that personalizing things like this is really fun, especially for gift giving. So I think using the favorite color is a great idea. I wanted a tooth. I did not have any white felt in my stash, so I took out some gray, cut out the shape of a tooth, painted it white, and then I just hot glued it right onto the front. Fun but not so fun fact is, in the making of this video, I cracked some teeth during the middle of the night, so I'll be going in for some dental work soon. Wish me luck. Then I took out my Cricut. I made a little sign that said Tooth Fairy. Now I had a little image of a tooth fairy, but that didn't go so well in the transfer process. But I did put some text down there that just says Tooth Fairy entrance. You could personalize it with an initial on the tooth or someone's name on it maybe. But I love the way this looks. It is so beautiful to hang on the outside of a bedroom door to remind your tooth fairy that they need to come that night. And it makes it really easy for them to grab the tooth out and then exchange it for some money. Now I'd show you what the money looks like in it, but I have teenagers, so I don't have any cash. I do love the fact that it has a hanger, and that makes it easy to fit on a doorknob. On to our next DIY, and this is another one for the little people in your life. So the reindeer that come at Christmas, they really like oatmeal and Cheerios, but they really like straw. So for this DIY, we're mixing up some of the straw that we were sent with those treats, and I pulled out my Cricut again and made this fun little design. Claus and Company Reindeer Food with a reindeer on it. I picked up some of these burlap treat bags from the Dollar Tree, and fun fact, I actually didn't even use the correct type of vinyl the first time around. Realized I had to go ahead and use different vinyl to have it be an iron-on. So I did that behind the scenes, and then I just used my miniature iron to adhere it to the bag. Now these are wonderful neighbors' gifts, especially if they have little people in their life. I love leaving these with milk and cookies for Santa, and it'll be here before we know it. And that way he can take it and feed the reindeer along his route. I think this is a really cute gift that you can give to any little person in your life. Now on to our next DIY. This is another one for the little people. Now this is something I always pick up from the Dollar Tree. It is something I like to put in closets and smelly places. This is my favorite scent. Now we're going to take the salt and pepper shakers that we were given, and we're going to take out some paint, because I remember when my kids were little how scary bedtime could be. I remember even being scared as a child and getting a head start and doing the whole run jump because I was convinced there was something under my bed. So we are going to be putting some monsters on here so that the little person you give this to knows that this gets rid of monsters. This is Monster Be Gone, and it is a wonderful thing to sprinkle on any carpeted area. It really holds the scent well. All you need is one little sprinkle. Now, because the monster might be a bit much for some kids, on the other salt and pepper shaker, we are doing Sweet Dreams. Now this is the perfect thing to give someone who is having a hard time sleeping at night and they may need some sweet dreams. So I'm just using my paint to create a cute little cupcake and adding a cherry on top, of course, and that is the perfect blend for some sweet dreams. Now I'm telling you, these are a great little gift for any person in your life that is struggling with some fear at bedtime. And it's an even bigger gift to the parents in their life. You may want to print out a couple little instructions that it takes just one sprinkle at night. And you could always decorate these with stickers if you are not good at painting. So that's a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what I created. Let me know your favorite down below in the comments. A big thanks to Courtney for putting this all together. We wouldn't have these fun videos to watch if it weren't for her. And thank you, Kelly. You took it so easy on me. You were so nice. I can't wait to see what you come up with. And be sure to head over and see what Jennifer makes with what I sent her. I'm excited. Be sure you check out that playlist down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you back very soon.